So, you set off into the forest again to try and rescue this hound. And after a little bit of travel, you found yourself next to a stream and a tree that seemed to be a little more living than you would expect. This awakened tree, this magical tree, waving its limbs back and forth, guarding an entranceway to an underground burrow, which you assume is where the rest of the Vegapygmy colony is, and hopefully where Hugo is as well. So you descended into the burrows, choosing the pathway that you were going to take, and that is where we're going to be picking up this session, with you exiting out of a fairly narrow tunnel that you've had to crawl through into a larger cave space. So let's do a very quick technical test here. I just want to make sure everything is working. So, basically the way that this works is that you all control a character together, and you control them through a series of polls, which tally people's votes, like this. So, if people would like to demonstrate, those of you who have been here before, you can vote for actions that you would like people to take. And the more votes an action has, the more likely it is to be the course of action that's taken. So, don't feel like you need to know anything about Dungeons & Dragons to play this game. That's one of the most important things. Anyone can participate, anyone can join in. And fucking eat dice. Never been more grateful that I do not have physical dice for this game. So as you can see, Make Sandwich now has 2 votes, which means that it would be the highest voted for option, which would mean that your character would make a sandwich. Because why not? When that's taken, the vote will then close. And then the second thing is that if an action calls for a dice roll, then I will open a dice giveaway like this. And then people can type !dice to enter the giveaway. This giveaway will randomly select somebody who enters this command, and then they will get permission to roll the dice. And the dice will essentially determine how successful you are at any given action. So that could be like an attack, it could be trying to move stealthily, it could be any number of things that you might need to do in the game. I'm sure if I ever roll a dice, I'll roll a 1. I think you'll roll a 20, for what it's worth. So then I close the giveaway. Casanthus, please type !roll. It's true, there have been a couple of people. There have been a couple of people who have rolled 1s. Okay, so there, cast rolled a 13. I would then add any relevant modifiers, and then we would proceed with whatever the action is. And I will narrate what happens. So, let's get into it. Okay, so, here we go. DM screen off. Alright, here we are. So, as you exit from this narrow tunnel, each one of you crawling on hand and foot, now able to stand up in a space that reaches up a good 15 foot above you, you now find yourself entering into probably a pre-existing cave system that the Vegapygmies had dug their way into. It is currently pitch black in this area. You do have a thing called dark vision, which means that you can see everything around you up to 60 feet in grayscale. So you're not able to determine color, but you are able to see potential dangers. So the first question that I need to ask you is, would you like to light a torch to give you better vision? Lighting a torch will mean that enemies will essentially spot you more easily if you don't see them first, but if you attack in the darkness, if you try and fight things in the darkness, you will be at a significant disadvantage. So I'm going to open the poll. So you can type, for example, !vote torch, or you can choose !vote dark. Can we light a torch when we encounter an enemy? Yes, you can. You don't have to already have one lit. That's fine. So one of the things about the voting system is that it's meant to be open. You can essentially type whatever you want. Though if it's too silly, people might not vote for it, but in my experience, it means they probably will. The amount of times so far in this game where someone's been like, oh no, I just said that as a troll, and I'm like, what did you expect? Honestly. Eat torch. You see? Nah, it's just going, it's moving up the list. Okay, so you decide to proceed in the dark. Next, Paul. Are you going to scout alone or proceed together? Sorry, scout alone or proceed together. So you can say alone or group, as an example. It's also worth noting that you can change your vote at any given time. So if you decide that you like somebody else's option better or wording better, you can just vote again and it will change your vote to something else. Do we have dark vision? Yes, you do. I think everyone does. Let me double check. Oh, Roga doesn't. Wait, do any of you have it? It's actually just you that has dark vision, actually. There you go. Now I know. It's just you and Owlden. I imagine that our stomach can contain the torch fire and we light our way with stomachs. Just lift up the shirt, you know? Lift up the shirt. Show the belly button. Put it down again. Easy peasy. Okay, so choosing to go together, you proceed onwards to see what may lie in store. So, let me do that. I'm going to arrange people here in a more realistic order. As you are the one with dark vision, you will be leading your group as best as you can. I am going to need stealth checks to see how quietly you are able to move through the chasms as you travel in darkness. So, !dice to enter for our first roll of the night, which will be a stealth check. Move you forward a bit more, actually. Let's do this. There we go. Perfect. We already know Trank's gonna be loud. Yeah, he's gonna be making this with disadvantage as well because he can't fucking see anything. Okay. Closing the dice giveaway. Tolkien, please hit us with the roll. Okay. So you do have a +9. So that brings it to 16. Pretty damn big. Okay, so. Big! Exactly. All right, so I'm going to do some rolls here. So Trank, first of all. All right. Roga. Alden. Okay. Got it. Got it. Everything's fine, chat. Everything's fine. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Okay. So as you move through the darkness, you don't feel as though you're drawing too much attention to yourselves. There are a couple of moments where Trank almost trips over a rock and clangs to the ground, but you turn around just in time to catch him and slowly lower him down to his knee before he gets up and begins traveling again with a group success moving into this space. As you travel through, as you expect, you see a lot of traces of spores in the air. You do your best to cover your mouths so as to not directly inhale them and to move them out of the way as you travel. The air is very musky. The walls are covered in a variety of different colored mosses and fungi. And it's not long before you exit into this corridor and you notice directly off to your right, there is a group of 3 Vegapygmies having some kind of, you imagine, conversation. This mixture of hisses and rhythmic tapping on various parts of their body. These different tones emitted from these impacts, forming some kind of language that you can't understand yourself. But there's definitely some kind of conversation taking place. Those damn Vegemites. Exactly. You can see that the corridor leads on a fair distance past them, and the corridor also leads off to the left as well as you enter this space. The majority of this particular part of the cavern does not seem to have any significant obstruction. You are aware that the Vegapygmies can see in the dark as well. So if you try and move into this space, unless you cause a distraction, there's a good chance that they will see you as soon as you enter. So, what would you like to do? You can obviously ambush them, you could try and sneak away, or you could try and do something else entirely. If you have a crazy plan, you can talk amongst yourselves and try to come to some kind of agreement. Throw Alden. I don't think Alden would appreciate that, but they probably agree. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to get into the rhythm of things. Can we make a trap for them, lure them by making noise in an ambush? Absolutely, yeah. That would be an ambush. We can decide exactly how that ambush takes place, if that's what people decide to go with. I'll align. Okay. It's close enough, right? It's close enough. I think you have the same goals here. Okay. So choosing to ambush the creatures, I just want to ask you if you are going to lure them or if you are going to attack them from here. So you could say attack or lure, for example. So attacking them in the open space. Confront or lure, yeah, whichever one works for you. They essentially mean the same thing. As long as it's clear enough, it's okay. The semantics don't need to be super specific. So if you attack in this open space, it does give you a lot of maneuverability, but it also gives them maneuverability too. And obviously, if you lure them in, you'll be able to hold them in this choke point, which might be quite useful for you, where you can hide behind your tankier comrades. Okay, so you're going to go for an attack ambush. Got it. All right, so as you are the person who can attack from range, and you do have the element of surprise, we're going to have something called a surprise round, which essentially means that for the first round of combat, all of your allies will be able to act, but the enemies will not be able to. So, before we get into the combat music and everything, I am going to ask for an initiative roll to see where your position is in the upcoming combat. So if you want to enter with ! dice, this is our initiative check, and the initiative check determines how quickly we react to combat, which essentially determines the order in which it takes place, because D&D works on a turn-based system. So everybody rolls to see how high up the list they are, and then we go down the list, and when we get to the bottom, we go back up to the top again. Do we have advantage? You do have advantage, yeah. So it's more likely that you will hit here. Absolutely. Hello, Falcon. Oh, I meant to ask, by the way, don't feel you have to, mods, but is anybody able to do recap command for today? Otherwise, I'll need to do it to make sure that latecomers know what's going on. It's just for today's session. Does Valandria have an elemental power like fire or water? No, not at the moment. Right now, Valandria has connection to the spirits and to nature, but no particular element. Okay, closing the giveaway. Max, hit us with the initiative roll, my friend. So for us, this is a +5. It's a mod only thing, yeah. Only mods can do it. That's okay, Max. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable with it, it's fine. It's literally just like, so for right now, oh, 17? Okay, so 22. All right. 22. Let me just note that down a sec. All right, I'm going to roll initiative for everybody else as well. So that is Trank. Trank's up to, he always gets the worst rolls, dude. Oh, no worries, Falcon. Yeah, that's cool too. Essentially, I just need the cliff notes, right? Oh, no worries, Max. Yeah, I'm gonna beer up after the stream, after the D&D stream anyway, when we play some party games. Roga gets a 15. Hi, Tilly. Okay. And then we have the creatures, which I'll just need to add. Vegapigme. Poor Vegapigmes, they're gonna get destroyed. Okay. Wicked. Do you press a special button before rolling for Trank? You'd think so. But surprisingly, it's all fair. Yeah, people grabbing beers. Listen, don't feel you ever need a drink on my stream, alright? But if you want to, it's totally fine. Okay, so let's get into combat here. As the ambush begins. Oh, that's the wrong music. Wait. As the combat begins. Is that it? No. As the combat begins. Yeah, that's the one. All right. Is that volume okay? We feeling good about that? Just got to check it before we get too far into things, you know? Crank it. You want more? Do you want more music, guys? I could do a bit more. It's good? Okay, I'm listening to script. Sorry, Max. Gotta make sure it's all level, okay? I don't get to edit it after the video's done. It's good volume, but crank it more. No, okay, maybe later, maybe later. I'll do it just for you. Okay, so kicking it off here. We start with you and Owlden. So, what would you like to do on your first turn in combat here? I'm assuming it's attack. So the way that the combat system works is that on your turn, you get movement, you get an action, and you get a bonus action. Also, you may want to consider lighting a torch. Just saying, because you are in complete darkness right now. Your attacks will be... Actually, will it? Let me just double check a ruling real quick. Darkness. Your allies won't even be able to attack, so it's kind of a moot point. But, yeah. Light torch? Okay. Great. Okay, so... essentially what you do is you pull out a torch from strapped to your belt. You also pull out a tinderbox. You flick it. You light the torch. It ignites a bright light in the area around you. You stab it into the ground in a loose bit of soil. Let me just create a layer for that real quick so we know where the light is. So it should be about this size. Oh god, that looks like kind of green. One sec. Yeah, it does. There we go. So you have this bright light that radiates into the space and makes it all nice and visible. Here we go. Beautiful. So, what do you want to do now? Gonna reset the vote? I'm assuming we're attacking with the bow, but I just want to make sure that everything is above board here and that you're making all the decisions. Cast your votes, friends. Offer sandwich. There's always one. Offer sandwich is a bit of a meme around these parts. You once made a friend by offering them a sandwich, and it's just never died down. Vote Rat Jam. Clean, clean. All right, so attacking with your bow. I need an attack roll from chat. Exclamation mark dice to enter. I'll give you a couple seconds to make sure that the mobile users get a chance to enter with the mobile delay. Okay. Closing the giveaway. SoKite, please hit us with our first attack roll of the night. This will have a +8 to the roll. Okay, so a total of 15. Not the best natural roll, but the modifier more than enough in this instance to hit one of these creatures that you're now getting more and more familiar with. That does 10 points of piercing. So you shoot out a single arrow. It silently streaks across the room just as the torchlight springs into life, illuminating everything around you. And you just catch the silhouette at the edge of this light as it falls, instantly killed into a pile on the ground. One shot. Okay, you're out. Okay, you have your bonus action to command Alden, if you like. Didn't we have a quiver that limited the amount of arrows we had? Yeah, I got rid of that, Cass, because it was just too much housekeeping. I'm just going to ask you all to buy arrows every now and again. And then I'm not going to worry too much about it. That kind of stuff is really not that fun, I don't find, usually. I thought it might be interesting, but in the end, it just became just one more thing that I had to track, and it got kind of annoying. There's already enough going on, you know? Better to focus on the fun. Okay, so you command Alden to attack. Alden rushes forward, eager to impress. Can just about get in range. Just on the edge of the bright light as it turns into dim. And that would be then an attack roll from chat. So please enter with dice to do Alden's attack, which will have a plus 3 to hit. Okay, closing the giveaway. Cassanthus, please give us our dice roll to see if Alden can land a mole attack. Let's go, Cass. Big rolls. I believe in you. 17. Okay, so with what we call a dirty 20, Alden lands this attack, dealing 8 slashing damage to target number 2. Almost instantly killing it. There's a small look of disappointment as Alden instinctively turns to you, having clawed down this creature's chest, possibly trying to imitate your brilliant sneak attack, but then you hear this kind of hoot of disappointment as the creature starts to get back to its feet, and then Alden just kind of rears back ready for round 2. Which brings us then to the creature that is dead, so I'm going to remove that creature from initiative. To, oh, it's still surprise round, so we are on Roga. Roga charges up. Unfortunately, it's a little far back, so we'll have to use movement as well as an action. So Roga now challenging this Vegapygmy on the right. And then Trenk is going to do the same. Oh, no, that's a good point, Max. That's a very good point, actually. We specifically gave Roga a slingshot. So Roga would move up and then attempt to make a slingshot attack against the target that Alden attacked. Noticing it's not dead, so... Natural 1. It does have advantage because it's a sneak attack round. It's a natural 20. I take it back. Okay. The swing. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? Fuck. So there's a moment of indecision from Roga before Roga takes aim with the slingshot. You can see Roga's rough, long extended tongue kind of focusing intensely, not used to this kind of weaponry, shooting at the creature over yonder. It zips past Alden's head, slams into the creature's head, and then it just kind of explodes and falls backwards from the impact. Which then would bring us to Trenk. Trenk is going to move around the corner and is also going to take a slingshot attack. Also hits. Not doing a huge amount of damage. But doing damage all the same. I just want to point out that this creature's health is 6 out of 9, and I think that's quite nice. Which would essentially bring us back to the top of initiative, and we start with you again, chat, as the creatures are only now reacting to what is happening. Which means that they did not get to take a turn. So, what would you like to do? I have some guesses. Number 2 is also gone, isn't it? So I can remove that from the board. Scatter arrow, that's not in this video game. Thank God. Imagine rage quitting D&D. I know you're devastated, but it's just the way it is, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so we need a little bit of uniformity here. We have at least 5 different options here technically, but we're gonna need to consolidate them a little bit. So just as an exercise in making the game move slowly, if you wouldn't, move smoother. Jeez, not slower. You're all voting for similar things, but it's probably worth consolidating these votes into one option. Fantastic. Thank you very much, chat. You're the best. So give me that attack roll, please, as you let loose another arrow into the dim light beyond your torch. Exclamation mark dice to enter. Please, if anybody's here and they are new to the channel, don't be afraid to get involved in a giveaway. This is not just for the regulars or subs or anything like that. Feel free to drop in and to roll a dice if you're not feeling super confident or anything like that, just to get involved if that's something you want to do. It'd be great to see you. Okay, closing the giveaway. Herb, please give us our attack roll. But if you're new and rolling natural 1, don't come back. Oh god. Okay, so big roll, so 22 total. Again, you shoot out with this bow, and almost the moment this combat starts, it instantly ends, as the creature is once again assassinated without any attempt to call out to any aid, or without an opportunity even, rather, to call upon any companions that may be further on in the darkness in either direction. The combat is concluded, and you have emerged from it unscathed. So, let me remove these Pygmies. Fantastic. Okay, so you are now immediately greeted with a choice. The command is recap. Yes. And if you don't want to spam it, obviously there's the Discord that you can do it in. I really appreciate it, man. It doesn't have to be like super detailed or poetic or anything like that. It's literally just like, this thing happened, and then this thing happened, and then this thing happened. It's really, really helpful. Yeah, exactly. Just like Cass said, basically. Okay, Falcon, seen a bit, man. Okay, so as I said, you're greeted with the 2 directions that this cavern branches off in. Which direction would you like to go? You still have your torch lit as well. It's up to you if you want to extinguish it. I'm going to open the poll. Oh, actually, I need to close it first, then I'll open it again. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Extinguish. No, that's spelled correctly. Well done. So you currently have this torch that is impaled into the earth below you, illuminating the space around you, casting shadows that flicker in every such direction. Couple of moments where it seems that Roger's a little paranoid and it kind of rushes towards one of these shadows and then finds that nothing is there. Man, things always get more complicated when you're moving down to the right. Okay, so you extinguish the light for now. As the darkness creeps in around you once more, at the very least, you feel a little bit more confident that you will be harder to see in the darkness around you. Very good. So, where are you going? I'm gonna refresh the poll. Are you going to take the right, which is this way, or are you going to take the left, which is down to the? Well, that's a bit confusing. Basically, we're doing it from their perspective, coming out into this area. So, right or up, or down, which is left. Yeah, up and down, I think, just makes it a little bit more easy. Up or down? Which reminds me, I need to open my cheat sheet. Hang on a second, chat. Just to make sure I'm not about to spoil something for you. Yep, that totally would have spoiled everything. Glad I didn't do that. Good job, brain. Let's split the party. Let's split the party. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Please do it. It's great. It's such a good idea. Okay. So, deciding to travel downwards, your party moves through the darkness. I'm going to need another set of stealth checks from you. Thank you, Max. You're the best. So, going to need a new stealth check from you, my friends, to see how quietly you move after defeating these enemies. I will start rolling for your companions. Trank. Fuck's sake, dude. Roga. Alden. Natural 20. Big. So I'm rolling it with disadvantage because they are completely blind in the darkness. So the way that advantage and disadvantage work is if you have disadvantage on a check, that means that you take the lowest roll out of 2. So you roll twice and take the lowest. If you have advantage, you roll twice and take the highest result. So both Trank and Roga are not doing such a great job moving through this area quietly. But Alden and yourself are doing fantastically, which kind of cancels it out. More or less. Closing the giveaway. Or I assume that you're going to do well with your +9 modifier. Bean, hit us with the roll. You can't even blame Trank for this? Nah, you know what to expect at this point. Like, yeah, he's in his fucking Iron Man suit, all right? Oh, it's so big! That's an alert. Okay, so absolutely massive. With what, a 26? Let's go! Okay. So, both Alden and yourself doing a fantastic job of leading your two other less subtly inclined party members through the darkness further into the caves, with Trank kind of holding onto the back of some of like, you know, clefts of Alden's feathery fur, and Roga putting a hand on your shoulder as you lead them through this area here. Once again, you are greeted with a choice as you travel. Off to your right, there seems to be another pathway, another section of this cavern, and off to the left, another. So, I'd like to ask you if you're going to check the left or the right first. I think I need to close this first, sorry. So, which direction are you going to take? Left or right? Oh no, this is going to be confusing again. Up or down? Up or down? Sorry, chat. Left or right is too confusing. Up or down. So up is here, down is here. Exactly, Max. So like sometimes I think of it from their perspective, sometimes I think of it from my own, and it just gets weird. So we'll just do up and down. Okay, so we currently have 3 up, 2 down. I'll give it another couple seconds in case that can swing the other way. And then we will see what you find. Okay, I think that's fairly convincing. So deciding to go up. Let me close that preemptively. You begin to travel together. Further into the darkness, in this space, it's not long before you come across what is very clearly another patrol of these Vegapygmies. This time in the company of one of the strange frog canine-looking plant creatures that accompany them. These Thornies, as they're called. Thank you, Shadow. 2 Vegapygmies and a Thorny. A similar scouting party to the one that you had encountered outside. They don't seem to have noticed you as you use the natural cover, sticking to the walls, hiding behind bits of rubble and stalagmites reaching up from the ground. You can again just hear this rhythmic tapping and this hissing sound of this Thorny as there's some kind of conversation taking place. What would you like to do? You could go down and ignore it, or you could attack them and move forward. There is very little chance of you sneaking past them. Violence, hands up. Hell yeah, that's a Twitch response right there. Offer sandwich every time. It's always worth giving it a shot, right? Can't exclude the sandwich. Violence, hands up. Okay, I like it. You're kind of committed here, chat, and honestly, that's great to see. Okay, so you decide to go for an attack here. Common sense indicates that you will be doing another ambush round, as the enemy has not seen you. So we're gonna do another initiative check to determine the order in which this combat takes place while I add these creatures back onto the board. And it'll be faster this time, so I'm excited for that. Beautiful. Just need to open this. Thank you. Thorny. There we are. Fantastic. So 14. All right. So, closing the dice roll. Cassanthus, please hit us with our initiative check. Lots of rolls today, Cass. You're popping off. They're all good rolls too, you know? Can't disappoint. Here comes a natural one. Oh, luck of the draw. Okay, so that brings you to a 9. I mean, it had to happen, Cass. You rolled too many times. The swing had to be there. You can't avoid it. Ha 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 ha! The Dungeon Master's curse. Okay, we need to double check all of these things. Okay. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, well, we'll take account for that this time. All right, so getting back into combat then. We start this time with Trenk's surprise round. Trenk is actually going to move up. because it doesn't seem as though you're all reacting quickly enough. And he notices this and decides to move forward to hopefully tank some of the blows before people start attacking the rest of your group. Trying to get their attention, he fires off a slingshot towards, let's make it target number 2. Okay, hits. Okay. Dealing 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Not a whole lot, but honestly, not the worst at this point. That would then bring us to Alden and yourself. Everybody rolling pretty badly here. So what would you like to do, chat? Sorry, Max, you might have to do that again. There you go. So as Max has correctly put, because there are multiple targets here that you can select, you can essentially indicate in your vote which target you are aiming for out of the 3 targets by including a number at the end. Okay, so attacking with your bow against target number 1. I need an attack roll. So exclamation mark dice to enter, please. Give you a couple of seconds to catch up, as I know people are watching on a lot of different platforms, so make sure everybody gets their chance. While I do that, I'm going to put my wrist brace on because I'm a boomer and I get wrist pains. Let's go. All right, closing the giveaway. Max. Yeah, exactly, Elok. Entropy. All right, Max, what do you got? Okay, so this makes a total of 16, which is again a clear hit as your shot goes through the door. Oh, that's a good point. We turning a torch on? We should probably mention this. Just say in the chat. Let's just say like yeah or whatever. I'm assuming we are. That's the strat. So we torch these. We torch these? Okay, yeah. So I'll move the torch over here. Again, you plant it into the ground, providing just enough light that everybody can more or less see in this space. I was first, though. That's not how it works. Okay. So your arrow flies through the darkness, slamming into the Vegapygmy. And it seems as though your attack strikes true enough. However, the arrow, as it passes into this creature's body, seems to impact in an area that's kind of between various vine-like tendons on its body. So it does damage, but not quite as much as you expected it would. It's still doing 5 points of damage. So that then brings us to what you would like to do as a bonus action. What is Owlden doing? For your bonus action, what is Owlden doing? Owlden is currently just behind you, but has more than enough movement to move up and attack, if that's what you want. Unfortunately, Owlden can't use a bow because Owlden doesn't have thumbs. But there you go. Thumbs, I know. It's devastating, but it's the truth. It is what it is. Okay, so choosing to attack target number 3, Owlden moves forward. Just getting in range, we'll say. Yeah, that seems about fair. To assault this larger, thorny creature. I need an attack roll, chat. So, I'm sure we can surgically attach hands from a body to Alden. Yeah, just collect limbs. Just everybody you meet, just tell them that they're infected with russet mold. Amputate, and then just, like, start hoarding them. And then just, like, stitch them on. And hope that they take. Easy. Then you could call him, like, Owl Abomination. I can make stupid jokes too, chat. Kitty is getting so bold trying to steal spaghetti. Yeah, as soon as cats get comfortable with you, they're like, they won't do anything. Fucking pussy. And then you go, no, you. And it's actually correct to say that in that context. Okay, closing the giveaway. Bean. All right, Bean. Can Alden strike true with the maul attack? Let's find out. Natural 20. Let's go. Okay, so first natural 20 of the night. You love to see it. Okay, so that would be... I'm just checking for resistances here because that's a lot of damage. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason why that wouldn't work that way. So, Alden moves up, pouncing and slamming down with both claws ready, scraping down the creature's head, bringing it to the ground and pinning it momentarily before it manages to wriggle itself free. That does damage amount. So for you, that is... Okay, yeah, so that does 12 points of damage. Okay. These Thornies, a bit more sturdy than their compatriots, their owners, the Vegapygmies. A feral intensity that causes them to continue to fight past that which their masters would ordinarily be able to. Rears back to possibly retaliate, but we are now on Roga's turn. Roga is going to zip on up. Yeah, it's going to try and split them. So Roga goes down the other side of this stalagmite grouping and fires off a slingshot. Okay, unfortunately does not hit, but seems to get the attention of one of these Vegapygmies. Which brings us to the top of the round. The surprise round is over, and this time your enemies are ready to fight. Trank moves up into the space here. Navigating around. Is going to attempt to attack the... actually, Trank's a smart lad. He goes around the side here. And pulling out a torch, lighting it, attempts to slam it down on the Thorny, because this is a lesson that you learned last time you fought these creatures. Natural 20. So it doesn't do a massive amount of fire damage, but you watch as the fire begins to spread over the creature's body, stopping it from regenerating. Bringing us then to Vegapygmy number 1. Okay, so where are you? You're here. Trank is definitely smart enough to come to that realization. We're gonna go... Yeah, so the Vegapygmy is going to move up and attack with its claws. Misses. The claw slams up against Trank's shield, bouncing off, and almost seems like you hear the cracking of vines and twigs inside this creature's body, as the plate armor causes the impact to be possibly more painful for the Vegapygmy than for Trink. Let me just reveal a bit more back here. Which brings us to the next round, which is going to be the Thorny. The Thorny is going to retaliate against Alden. That hits. So Alden takes 8 points of piercing damage as the Thorny's toothy maw sinks into Alden's shoulder. That brings us then to the next one initiative, which is your turn. So Alden and Villandria. What are you going to do with your turn first, Villandria? So you have all of that movement, the action, all the good stuff. What would you like to do? So you're aware that the Thorny is no longer going to be able to regenerate itself, but it does still pose a threat. It is weakened, but it is not at a point at which it seems as though it is at risk of immediately dying. Attack 3. Okay, give me an attack roll then, chat. Exclamation mark dice to enter the giveaway. Nothing that a 20 can't handle? Absolutely, yeah. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds here to enter. And then we will see what happens. Okay, closing the giveaway. Elok! Elok, please hit us with the roll. Okay. Too many L's. Fuck. Uncrack those knuckles. Okay, so this is still a 14, which is a hit, I think. That is exactly what you needed to hit. So fortunately enough, you just managed to maneuver in a way that you're no longer worried about hitting any of your companions. It comes kind of close, but you managed to strike the Thorny with an arrow from across the chamber. Again, you see that it doesn't do quite as much damage as you expect it to, but still you can now see with the arrows poking out of this creature, the claw marks down the front of its head, and the fire that is still coursing across the back of its body. It is in a pretty rough spot at this point. What would you like Alden to do? You have your bonus action to command Alden. I lost 5 years of life expectancy on this roll. You got this. You got this. It's no big deal, right? Everything's fine. Okay, so choosing to attack target number 3. I need another attack roll, chat. Exclamation mark dice to enter the giveaway. Yeah, so when you're within attack range of a creature, usually if you move away from that space, then you risk getting attacked by the creature itself. Yeah, it's called an opportunity attack. It's okay, you know, we don't play all the time, so there are going to be rules that we forget as we go. Closing the dice giveaway. Oh, that's the wrong button. Closing the dice giveaway. Herb, hit us with the roll, please. Okay, so another clear strike from Alden, dealing another 8 points of damage, which is the exact amount of HP that the Thorny had left. So with that, Owlden claws down again on the creature's head, this time slamming it down into the ground. You hear the crack and the crumbling of both the stone below and the creature's whatever it has for bones in its replacement of actual of an actual skeleton, as the creature goes limp and you see it start to deflate. That then brings us to target number 2. So let me get rid of the Thorny. So target number 2 is going to move up and attempt to attack Trank. Is that a frog? It's a strange frog. It's like a plant frog dog. That sounds so stupid, but yes, that's essentially what it is. A frog dog. It's like a dog made of plants, but its head looks like a frog. There you go. Perfect. A frog kid? Okay, moving on. So, an attack roll with the claw does not hit. So these creatures going for what they imagine to be the least intimidating target, this halfling armored figure, both completely unable to come close to breaching his defenses, slamming off shield and armor, all of their attacks being deflected to no effect. Which then brings us to Roga, who is going to move around the corner and is going to smack with the staff. Hits. How much damage did you do with that, Roga? 5 damage. Oh, actually, no, it's more than that. 6 damage because he's two-handing the weapon. That's number 2. That's exactly how much health it had, because I remember it was 6 out of 9. Love that for us. So with that, as the Vegapigmy recoils from clanging off Trank's armor, Roga smacks it in the back of the head, knocking the head clean off. The vines within its interior stretching like veins as the head rolls to the ground on the other side. As the creature collapses bloodlessly into a heap. Okay, so you're done. And then that brings us to the top with Trank. Trank is going to attempt to attack the creature that is attacking him. And succeeds. Not even going to roll damage, as that's more than enough, as you once again find yourselves a little bit worse for wear. Owlden taking a hit, but nonetheless, you have defeated another round of the inhabitants of this colony. So, yeah, Trank's he's getting it done. You know, Trank's getting it done. Sometimes all you need is someone who gets it done. All right, so grouping up once more, extinguishing the light. Honestly, Elok, so one of the problems that I have with the Dungeons and Dragons system is how they use the word level. Each spell has a level. It's like a power level of the spell. It's not directly linked to what level your character is. So when you get to, I think it's... let me actually just double check it. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I want to make sure I'm actually giving the correct response. So from character level 1 until character level 5, you only have spells of first level. So they're low-level magics. They're not insanely powerful. And then when you get to level 5 as a character, you get access to second-level spells. I wish they'd worded it differently, but here we are. So they're not directly linked. The spell's level indicates how powerful it is, essentially, in a very minimalistic sense. Okay. So, are you going to continue on or turn back and go the other way? So, continue or turn back? Healing Surge Alden. Can Alden use a Healing Surge? Technically, Alden has his own Healing Surges. Hello, Realistic. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, yeah, you could do that. You could get Alden to heal. That's fine. In fact, I'll say we do that. That is expending a resource, but it's not one that's immediately liable, so I will mark that down. So Alden has used some hit dice. What is happening here? So we are doing Twitch Plays D&D. Essentially, it's a Dungeons & Dragons game where everything is decided by chat. Everybody works together to control the main character, Villandria, through a process of voting, and the highest option wins, and that's the action that's taken. And also doing dice rolls that are randomly assigned to people from chat. So, choosing to continue onwards. Your group travels. I'm going to need stealth checks. So, we're going to do our first dice giveaway. If you want to get involved, Realistic, essentially you type !dice into the chat. And then if you win the giveaway, you'll get to roll to see how successful our stealth check is. It's D&D in which we try to kill everything that moves. So most Dungeons & Dragons games, yeah, Yerk. Pretty standard run-of-the-mill Dungeons & Dragons game. Okay. Closing the dice giveaway. Yerk, please hit us with our stealth check while I decide the other people's results. Okay, Trank for once rolling well. Okay, so you get a total of 27. Very, very nice. Trank rolls well for once. Roga does not. Okay. Luckily, someone got a natural 20, so this actually is still even at this point as you travel forwards. What class are we? You are playing a Beast Mastery Ranger, and you have an Owl Bear Cub companion called Alden, who's right here. So you continue onwards into the darkness. And as you travel, the cave starts to lead you up further on into the caverns itself. The tunnel gets narrower. It starts to feel a lot more claustrophobic. Fortunately, the walls seem sturdy. There's not the kind of ever-present threat of rubble falling from above or any risk of cave-in. For the most part, these caves seem to be pretty structurally sound, and that offers you some reassurance as you travel in. You get about halfway through this next tunnel before you start to hear a grinding sound further on into the chamber that lies beyond. Hello, Kitty. Great to see you. As the room begins to open up once again. Let me open this. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you gets to the edge of this room, motioning for your companions to wait just a couple of feet back, and you notice that there are two large worm-like silhouettes in the darkness beyond. You watch for a minute. They don't seem to notice you, but they seem to be almost playfully attacking each other at times, or in competition over what is very clearly some kind of animal remains left on the ground in the center of this chamber. You notice immediately that there doesn't seem to be any other exit from this chamber at all. This is a dead end, but there are these two creatures that you recognize as being purple worms, though much, much smaller, wormlings essentially. Two traditionally incredibly dangerous underground predators. They don't pose as much of a threat as their adult counterparts, but nonetheless could be a very challenging encounter if you are unlucky. I want a perception check from chat as well. So I'm going to open up the dice, and we will see what other things you may notice about the room. Where is the mama worm? Good question. Okay, so reminder, you don't need to know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. You don't need to have any kind of prior knowledge of how the system works. All you need to do is say, hey, I'd like to roll the dice. And then you type !dice, and then you enter, and then we see what happens. Okay, closing the dice giveaway. Realistic game, hello! There we go. So if you want to type !roll for me, please, and that will roll the dice, and we'll see what the result is. A natural 20. First roll, easy clap. Let's go. Okay, so that brings us to a total of 27 on the perception check. It's absolutely gargantuan. A perception check to rival the size of an adult purple worm. As you look into the space, there are a couple of other things that you notice. So there are littered remains, bones, decaying flesh, rotting cadavers, but there's also a large array of items of interest. You see a couple of weapons, you see a couple of piles of what seems like it might be valuable gemstones. A lot of items have been thrown into this space, possibly to try and placate these creatures. The Vegapygmy's not entirely sure what they eat, but you can tell from the things left behind that they've definitely partaken in both flesh and stone, particularly gemstone, as there is a lot of gemstone dust kind of littered around the space. Fragments of red rubies and green emeralds left behind. Kitty, thank you so much for the gifted sub to SoKite. I'm so sorry that there is not alerts, but for the YouTube video, they're not on when we do this, but we can see it on the screen. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. I really appreciate that, Kitty. Thank you for your continued generosity in support of the channel. Okay, so what would you like to do, chat? Let me reset the vote. For new people, if you want to vote for something, you have to do !vote, space, and then whatever you want to do. There's no pre-prescribed answers, so you can type whatever you want, but if you want your option to win, other people will need to vote for yours, or you'll need to vote for somebody else's. So, just for clarity, what you've discovered is that there are these two purple wormlings at a dead end in this tunnel And littered about the space, there are various remains of creatures that have been fed to them. And there's also gemstones that have also been thrown into the area. Many of them seem to also have been devoured. So you know that these creatures partake in both flesh and the breaking down of valuable gems. In return, it seems as though these creatures have been placated enough to not immediately attack the rest of the Vegapygmy colony. Run. Okay. So, closing the giveaway. Oh, hang on. Wait, Yerk's telling me to wait. What's going on? What's happening? Can we disguise as a veggie pig? You could try. You could try. You do. Yeah, you absolutely do. Okay, well, remember, you can all change your votes. So if you vote again, it will change your current thing that you've chosen to a new option. Do we know what their weaknesses are of these worms? No, you don't. You do not know. But you imagine they probably don't have any. Okay, so Disguise taking a pretty clear lead there. Let's do that. See, great example of voting systems working exactly the way that they are supposed to. Just everyone's like, yes, that's a great idea. All right, so I'm going to need... Ooh, what would I do for this? Yeah, okay, so... we are going to do a survival check. So I'm going to open up the dice rolls here. So if you want to get involved and have a chance to decide the outcome of a choice, exclamation mark dice to enter the giveaway. And then if you're selected, you will roll the dice and the result will determine how successful the action is. I don't trust myself. It's a pretty important it's a pretty important roll. So your survival checks get a modifier of, I believe, +5, yeah. Oh my goodness. Ellie Cat, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. Oh, hold on. Welcome, Raiders. It's great to have you. Welcome to Twitch Plays D&D. Hang on. Let me sort out this. Fuck. I love that raid message. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Ellie Cat. I hope you had a fantastic stream. I'm going to refund your defense bonus, Herb. Just because that's combat specific, but we'll have the we'll have Yerk's check bonus as well as the bonus to this. So yeah, bloody hell, very nice. I believe it's a +2. So closing the... Actually, you know what? Since we have Raiders here, to get you guys introduced into the game, for anybody who may be here that wasn't lurking already, we're playing Dungeons & Dragons together where chat plays a single character. Everything is decided through a voting process and random dice giveaways. If anybody would like to play, feel free to stick around. And nothing requires you to understand Dungeons & Dragons. It's all designed so that you can just do things that you want to do and see if you can convince the rest of chat to do them as well. One of the things we do is the random dice giveaways. So if you'd like a chance to roll a dice to see what happens, type exclamation mark dice into the chat right now as is displayed on the screen, and you will enter a giveaway that allows you to potentially be able to roll a 20-sided die for our ability to disguise ourselves as a creature called a Vegapygmy and try and sneak away some loot from the den of these 2 purple wormlings. Thank you, Max. Okay, I'm going to close the giveaway. Kitty! Okay, Kitty, please give us a roll with a modifier of +5. Nothing could go wrong. I believe in you, Kitty. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it's ginormous. Okay. So, it's kind of fucking big. You have a brief discussion amongst your party, and you decide that the rest of you are simply too big to... You're simply too large to be disguised as Vegapygmies. If these creatures have any semblance of intelligence, it's not gonna work. But, fortunately, you have one party member who is a little smaller, a little slighter than the rest. That is Trink, your halfling companion. So Trink reluctantly removes his plate armor, lays down his weapon and his shield, and over the course of about 20 minutes, you attach through rope and remaining vine various sections of these Vegapygmies. You hollow out a Vegapygmy skull, this strange leathery, earthy skin left behind that Trink wears as a whole head mask. It's foul. It's disgusting. But it could be a lot worse. As Trink dons this Vegapygmy disguise. Like a Cubone? Yeah, exactly. Just like a Cubone. And Trink cautiously ventures into the room, offering, you've guessed it, a sandwich. Some plans, they never fail. So Trink, collecting rations into this bread and meat mess, frantically cobbled together, throws it into the center of the room, and the creatures instinctively start fighting each other over this ball of mess that just kind of falls apart as it hits the ground and just spills out into the space. There's vegetables, there's dried meats, there's bread that just kind of flops out into the middle of the room. Very tasty. Yes, tasty. Trink is going to try and grab as much as possible in this short period of time. So I'm going to roll an athletics check for Trink to see how quickly he can do this. All right. Okay, you know what? Trink always rolls well when it matters. He always comes clutch. And this also has the bonus from Yerk as well. So, oh my, it would have been like a 29. Whoa, my God, dude. The check is so fucking big. So thanks to all of the advantages afforded, Trink rounds up a fair amount of loot. And I am going to find out exactly what that loot is right now. So give me 1 second, please. Loot. Okay. Ooh. All right, dude. So the first thing, as he comes back and you all move back into the corridor and back through into a much safer space. And then you start taking stock of the winnings. DM was like, let's put those big worms, they're never gonna get the loot. And then chat was like, hold my beer. See, but this is the thing though. This is why D&D is so fucking cool, because it's like, you have that opportunity to think of something completely just out there that I never would have thought of that. But you had the opportunity. And you did it, and you rolled well, and it worked. You never know what's going to happen. There's always room for ingenuity, you know? So the first thing you pull, you're not exactly sure what it is, but it seems to be of significant interest to you at the very least. I am going to need you to give me a Arcana check. Okay? So I'm going to open the dice roll. You won't know exactly what this item does in character, but I will tell you what it is called if you roll well enough. And then as players, you can look it up yourselves if you're feeling really nosy. I still think sobbing would have been the play. No. Okay. So, closing the giveaway. Realistic again. Realistic, please give us our Arcana check. It will have a +3 to the roll. It's another... Who is this person? And how have they hacked my system? Oh, man. Okay. So, with a total of 23... Dice Wizard, yeah, got those dice hacks. Twitch dice hacks.exe. Yeah, that's 100% natural 20. Yeah, it's true. Can't lose. Okay, so you recall just enough of this information to know what it does. From this hoard, you pull a beautiful set of bracers. I'm just going to bring this up here. Second. My computer's just being really slow. Any second now. Any second now. There we go. Okay, so you pull this beautiful set of bracers called the Bracers of Archery. Big Pog. Now, as you confer with your party members, you come to the conclusion that you are very clearly the only member of your party that can make proper use of this item. I can't believe I rolled this randomly, dude. I rolled this randomly, and this is the item we got. This is like this is such a good item. Okay, so what this means is you will do an extra 2 damage to your range attack rolls with short bows and long bows. So your damage has just gone up to a total of 12. Gee, you're so... This character is so OP. What happened? You guys rolled so well on everything. This is like one of the strongest level 3 characters I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay. The other things that you pull from this loot hoard are a number of valuable gemstones. 12 damage base? Yup. Yes, we are. We're using the average number rolls so that we don't have to roll too many dice and slow things down. And the average dice roll for your attacks would be 12 now with the Bracers of Archery. It's kind of fucking tasty. So you pull a number of items that I'll note down these for you, but I'll tell you what they are. You pull an azurite, which is an opaque, mottled, deep blue gemstone. A hematite. You also got 2 obsidian. And a tiger's eye. It's okay. Elok knows. Elok knows. Tiger's Eye. It's just a meme. It's just a meme. And then the last bit of loot that you get is... Oh shit, alright. No, I can't give you... That's gonna make you even more overpowered. What do you mean? I kind of feel like I should do it though. Should I do it, chat? Okay, so the other item that you get is an item called a Headband of Intellect. How the fuck did that come? Wait, hang on a second. Have I made a terrible mistake? I haven't. So you also get a Headband of Intellect. With your previous Arcana check. But you could if you wanted to. When you wear this headband, and it requires attunement, so this is a new thing for people now. There are special, powerful magical items that you can only wear up to 3 of at a given time, as the magical items take a toll on you to equip. So the bracers, I believe the bracers, both the bracers and the headband both require attunement. So this would be 2 attunement items that you'd be wearing. But when you wear it, your intelligence score is 19. So that would mean that all of your intelligence checks have a +4 to them. So, your group speaks once again, and they again say that at this point in time, both Roga and Trank are more than willing to follow your lead. And if this item will result in you making better decisions, then they would rather that you have the item, while that is a responsibility that you are willing to bear. Jesus, this is crazy. So you do 12 damage now, and your int is actually 19. So to show you what this headband looks like, I will show you an image. Here you go. This is what the Headband of Intellect looks like. Incredibly fancy, a little bit out of character for you. Not necessarily the style that you would usually go for, a lot more flashy. But nonetheless, a very beautiful and well-crafted magical item. Okay, so moving on. What would you like to do, chat? An elven crown of some sort? Probably was elven made, yeah. Quite possible. So, what would you like to do? I also need to open up these things again so I can see them. I'm saying you've already equipped you've already got the headband on, but I'm thinking more in terms of which direction you'd like to go. Challenge strength to chest to show off intelligence. Let's go. How much should we explore? Okay, so this is your path so far. You came in here, and you have thus far traveled in this direction. There's another pathway down here, and then you got to a dead end over here. Oh yes, Trank takes this time as you're inspecting these items to change back into his plate armor. Absolutely. Okay, so I just need to close down these 50 tabs that I had open. What else do I need to do? You're fine. Then I need to open up the previews. Vote bot, you can go here. die spot, you go over here. And then the M dice roller goes over here. Got him. All right, we're good. We're back on track. I also have no idea what we're looking for. Okay, so you came to this area to hopefully try and find Hunter's dog. That's the main thing that you're looking at for, but you're also aware that the Vegapygmy colony does pose a threat to, you know, civilization as a whole, as it's very easy for russet molds to essentially consume an area of forest land. But the main reason why you're here is to try and find Hugo, the hunting hound. Okay, so choosing to go down, as you do. You continue your adventure deeper into the caverns. Nice, I know, right? So nice. Can we use our big smart headband to look for dog tracks then? You don't need the headband for that, but you can do a survival check. So let's open that up. It's not a bad idea. So let's do a survival check. Exclamation mark dice to enter. Ooh. Dropping everything. I'll give it a couple more seconds for the console and or mobile users as they get a little bit more of a delay. Yeah, I know some people who watch the stream on a console. Using the Twitch app. You who would do that? Yes, so weird. Okay, so closing the giveaway. Cass, come on. You're still like 3 for 4 right now. We need another big roll. International Space Station users should hear us by now. Let's go. Okay, so that with our survival, which is I believe a +5. Yeah, it's +5. So brings us to a dirty 20. Let's go. So, as you look around the area, keenly aware at this point in time that there are so many different branches to these tunnels, you don't even know if you're in the correct one. So you're looking around for any kind of traces, any kind of tracks that might indicate where Hugo might be. And it takes you a lot of time. You're looking incredibly discerningly, possibly more than you have in your entire life, as you're picking up on details you didn't even notice before with this new headband that you don. There are a couple of things that you notice. As you move into this space, first and foremost, there is a path off to your left as the character is looking. The pathway then leads further down, much more open, narrow space. There are drag marks, possibly of other creatures, and also that seem to be scrapings of some kind of metal instrument that lead off in this direction, past this mushroom, into a narrower corridor. However, you wonder for a second if this is probably where Hugo might have gone, but then you see something more distinctive. Something more interesting in the ground. Leading off in this direction, you see what is very clearly canine tracks. Camera went blurry. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Hang on a sec. I need some kind of item. My hand. Hand, do the thing. There you go. You see some kind of canine tracks, and the spacing between the tracks in the ground indicates that this dog or canine, could be a wolf, could be the hound itself, was traveling at a pretty fast pace in this direction. You don't know if this is the dog that you're looking for, but it's definitely a dog's tracks, moving at considerable speed down here. Only one set of dog tracks, yeah. There are other tracks, Vegapygmy tracks, that you've seen before. But, yeah. They seem fairly recent. So I'm gonna reset the poll, because this might change what you want to do. Which direction would you like to explore? We will actually do left and right here. So left is this direction, map facing left or right. So left is towards the dog tracks that you found in the ground. Right is towards the more traveled route that also seems as though many heavy objects have also been brought in this direction. Okay, everyone's going with left. Okay, so as a group, you continue on further down to the left. You get to a small junction. You have to navigate through a series of stalagmites. It's a bit of a tight fit for some of you, but you make it through. Another pathway leads off. You travel onward. And then, as you enter this space, you hear, off to your left or down in this direction, some more of this rhythmic tapping. The telltale sign of Vegapygmies having some kind of conversation, some meaning being bounced back and forth between them. So I will highlight that room for you. As you move forward, you can just make out one Vegapygmy on either side of this cavern space. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Feel free to pop off the commands there if you want to learn anything about the game and how we're playing it. So, what would you like to do? Opening up the vote here for people to decide. Obviously, there is another path up to the top. You do not have to take this pathway. You are aware that it will probably result in some kind of encounter, but it doesn't seem as though it would likely be the worst one that you've ever had. It is also worth noting, sorry, I forgot to point this out, there is another pathway down here as well. In this direction. Is it, it sounds like only those two, or does it sound like there are more enemies? From this range, it's hard to tell. But if you venture any further, basically like you're up here. If you venture any further, to be able to get a line of sight of what lies in this darkness, you're probably going to risk revealing yourself. Yeah, you could use a spell if you wanted to. It may or may not give you the information you desire, but it's definitely an option you have available. The items of interest. So there was the bracers of archery. I'll type it into the chat, actually. Bracers of archery. Headband of intellect. And several gems of 10 GP value. There you go. Thanks, Max. All right, so we have at least I'm just now seeing the lasso of truth. You have a lot of different options here, but we need to consolidate. We need to decide exactly what you're going to do because everything has one vote right now. So you have these enemies off down in this direction, and you have other pathways that you can take if you do not want to fight. So what would you like to do? The tracks continue to flow in this direction towards these creatures. The tracks that you were following. I'll give you a couple of seconds to try and make up your mind. Can you lure them? Yeah, you can try to lure them, again, like we did earlier. That's definitely an option. Violence, hands up. Okay. So we'll go with that since it's the most voted for option. Gonna refresh the poll. And I'm gonna ask you again if you would like to lure or attack them at this point in time. If you'd like to lure them closer to you, perhaps with a sound, or if you would like to launch your surprise attack from where you are now. Sorry, let me just do that again. So, exclamation mark vote, and then your answer, please. Okay, seems pretty unanimous. So, choosing to lure your opponents into a space more favorable to yourselves, you motion for everybody else to step back out of line of sight. And then you attempt to imitate some of the Vegapygmy calls that they make, this rhythmic tapping, these different tones on different parts of their body. So I'm gonna need a, I think for this again, we'll go with a survival check. Usually this would be something like a performance check, but given the context, I don't feel like charisma is really the right modifier. This way of playing D&D looks like a very good idea. Oh, thank you very much, Alex. That's very kind of you to say. Also, hello to Emplo. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, everybody. Seeing some really awesome new faces today, and that's really, really cool. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's an original idea we've had here on the channel, and I'm really happy with the way it's going, and I'm glad to see everybody having a really great time with it, so. A lot of people, like especially now that COVID is a thing in all of our lives, they don't have the opportunity to play Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe they've never had the opportunity. It's a good way to get into the hobby without all of the social pressures that come with Dungeons and Dragons sometimes. You can just kick back, interact as much or as little as you want, and just be part of crafting a story together. I think that's a nice thing. Survival is about how creatures react and behave too. I would definitely say so, yeah. I would definitely say so. That's why I think a survival is about as close as we could get to something that makes sense in this context. Yeah, for people who are very interested in things, you also have the story command. This actually has a document where you can catch up on everything that's happened in this campaign so far, if you so desire. I'm going to close the dice roll. So, Yerk, please give us our survival check. This has the +5 modifier from our survival. I believe in you. Ooh, okay, so it's not great. It's an 8 total. Not completely awful, but also not your best show. As you do your best to try and recall some of the rhythmic patterns that you had heard earlier on in your adventure down in these tunnels, you are not entirely convinced that you have formed any kind of coherent sentence or conveyed any significant meaning, but you've definitely made enough sound to draw attention. You don't know exactly how these creatures are going to approach, however. So, I am going to, for effect... That's the wrong color. Okay. I'm going to bring this darkness back in as you can no longer see them. In their language, I said, "We are here to ambush you." Perfect. Perfect. You couldn't have done a better job with it, right? Okay. So I'm going to need a perception check from you, chat, as well, to see, as you're waiting out of line of sight, disguising yourself amongst the rubble as best as you can. I want to see how much you can tell about these creatures' behavior as they approach. A lot of dice. I'm seeing a lot of people who are enjoying the dice rolls. That's really awesome. Thank you very much for getting involved. After all, the system kind of only works when people vote and do dice rolls and stuff. So I'm really happy to see everybody doing that. Okay. Closing the giveaway. Kitty, please roll the dice for us. Let's see what you got. I believe this is +7 to the modifier. Ooh, okay, so it's not great. No. So with a total of 8, you're not entirely sure what is happening. You're hearing movement, but you're not really getting any sense of what it means. So you're aware that these creatures are getting closer, but you don't know exactly how close and what they are doing in the darkness around the corner from you. So, you wait about 30 seconds, and there is a singular moment where you don't notice one of these Vegapygmies pokes their head around the corner, and your eyes immediately meet one another about 6 foot away from one another. So you literally turn, and you're just looking at each other for a single second before you both draw your weapons and we enter initiative. So, I'm going to open the giveaway for our initiative check. Hello, Kaya. As we go into initiative with neither party getting a surprise round. I'm just going to put the music on real quick. And I am going to get the fight set up real quick. So bear with me. All right, so closing the giveaway. Alex. There we go, Alex. Hit us with that roll. So ! roll in the chat now that you have permission to do so. 18. Okay, so that brings us to a total of 23. You react far quicker than your opponents in this circumstance, as we will be starting off the combat with what you would like to do. So, opening the poll. What would you like to do first in combat as it breaks out? So you have, as per usual in the D&D system, you have your action, which you can use to do things like dash or attack or do some other significant action. Oh yeah, we'll do the we'll put the light back on as well, because that is our standard form. As you pull out a torch and impale it into the soil below you to give your allies room and vision to fight. Why is the light green? I don't know. I don't know. Should I make a new one? Let's just make another one. Is this better? I'm colorblind, remember, so actually, you know what? I'll just make a new one. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Still green? That's definitely, that doesn't feel green. Fuck. Okay. One more try. One more try. One more try. Is this green, chat? Are we safe? Let's go. Let's go, dude. Wait, no, I don't like saying that anymore. Let's go. Okay, so we have a couple of different options here. Please try to consolidate your options. If you have like attack bow or whatever, or attack longbow, these are essentially the same things, but it's a good habit to try and kind of merge these together. If you want to attack with your bow, then just change to attack bow. Okay, so choosing to attack. I'm going to need an attack roll from you. So please enter with ! dice to see if you can win a chance to do our first attack roll of this combat. Let me move the enemies into the encounter. So this is the one that you see immediately. Let me move the light down here, actually. The second one is slightly behind. And there's also a thorny behind that person. Hey, Loose Deuce, great to see you. How you doing? All right, closing the giveaway. Emplo. Okay, Emplo, please hit us with the ! roll in the chat. No problem, Realistic. I'll let you know. You're probably going to get this in 5 minutes. Okay, so this is a 5 plus 8, which is the exact number that you need to hit a Vegapygmy. So you do still hit with this attack roll. So you ready an arrow in your bow, you kind of instinctively leap back, backing up against the cave wall, just enough distance between you and this creature to get a clean shot. You fire it off, it slams straight into it, and almost instantly kills it. As although you are both surprised to have this combat break out so suddenly, you having the upper hand unleash a fairly devastating blow. Right, that brings us then to your bonus action. So what would you like to command Owlden to do? Your owl bear companion, what would you like them to do? You killed one? You almost did. This individual is grievously wounded, but not dead. So now, because you're a Beast Mastery Ranger, you need to command your owl bear companion to take their action, whatever that might be. What are other bonus actions? Right now, the other bonus actions you have, I believe the only thing you have is Hunter's Mark. Attack. Okay, so you command Alden to charge forth and make an attack. It's going to be against target number 1 because we have votes for that as well. So I need an attack roll from you again, chat. So, exclamation mark dice to enter to see if Alden can land the killing blow on this creature. BTV emote menu. Yeah. And also you can do that, yeah. Okay, so closing the giveaway. Yerk, hit us with that dice roll. Let's see if Alden can land a mole attack. Let's get him, Yerkle. Let's go, redemption arc, let's go! Oh, okay, maybe not. Not today. So Alden attempts to claw across this creature's form as it is surprised by the arrow sticking now from its chest. However, the creature, as it's kind of stumbling back from the blow, kind of unintentionally dodges the attack. That's like the only time anyone's missed so far, so don't feel too bad. All right, that then brings us to the Vegapygmy's turn. It is going to fire a slingshot attack back at you. Yeah, Alden's had a long day. So that is going to be a +4. Natural 20. So manages to land a critical hit on you. Infuriated by the almost fatal blow that you have done against their ally. So you take 6 points of damage as this sizable pebble slams into the center of your forehead. So 6 points of damage. Let's see if the health command breaks, chat. Hold your butts. It broke. Fuck me. I don't know why, but it broke. Oh, I fixed it and then it broke again. Okay, now it's working. I don't know what happened here. I'm clearly gonna have to find out a better system. Okay, so leaving you at 19 out of 25 hit points. Critical strike, not devastating when it's just a pebble, apparently, but still dangerous all the same. That brings us to the Thorny. Yeah, exactly, realistic. Rushes forward. Moves past Alden, going in an arc here, and goes to attack you. Does not hit, however, though. Tries to bite out at your thigh as you've readied your bow attack, but you just managed to pull it away before the creature impacts. What are the other two guys? So these are, do you mean your two allies or your two enemies? We then have Roga's turn. Allies, so you have Roga here, which is who is a turtle. No class, but a turtle warrior. And Trink, who is a combat medic, halfling. So we are going to have Roga who's going to move up and attempt to attack the Thorny. Does not hit, however. The blows being traded here, not actually landing, just a series of clattering blows on both sides that don't seem to have any effect. We then have the last Vegapygmy, who's going to again attempt to attack you. It will be with at disadvantage, as Owlden is currently threatening. Okay, yeah, so Owlden, no pun intended, bearing down on this Vegapygmy, causing enough distraction that the Vegapygmy is struggling to properly ready the slingshot to get enough tension in it. Just lets this pebble loose and it just shoots straight up into the ceiling. Bringing us to Trenk's turn. Trenk moves forward, moves around you, attempts to attack the Thorny. Unfortunately, does not hit though. So that brings us back to the top of the round with you, chat. What would you like to do? It is your turn once again. Attack Torch 3. The planning. Y'all getting so smart. So you are aware that the Thornies in particular have the ability to regenerate from wounds unless they are inflicted with certain elements of damage. Do you have a melee weapon? Yes, you have a short sword. However, your character does have the close quarters fighting style, which means that they can attack with a bow at close range without suffering from significant disadvantages. Attack Torch. Okay. So with that, I need an attack roll. So exclamation mark dice to enter. Do you have any magic we can do to prevent him from regenning? You currently don't have any magic that would allow that to stop, but you are aware that simple fire will suffice. I think realistic is actually behind on the stream. So if anybody could just politely let them know that the fire stops the regeneration. Okay, closing the giveaway. Okay, realistic game. It is your turn to roll. When it comes around to your turn, I'm going to tag you actually. Okay, never mind. You're good. Okay, so with a 6 plus for you. It's a simple weapon. It uses your strength. That unfortunately does not hit. Unfortunately, in this circumstance, you try to bring the torch down on this creature, but it just ducks out of the way. This one seemingly a little faster on its feet than the others, a little bit more nimble as it just manages to dodge the blow. You do still have your bonus action. So what would you like to do with your bonus action? Again, you have the Hunter's Mark if you want to use it, but you can also command Owlden to attack a target of your choice. Right now, the situation is that Vegapygmy number 1 has sustained heavy damage, but the other 2 targets have not been hit yet. Okay. Look at you all working together. I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay, so I need an attack roll, please. Exclamation mark dice to enter. Always bear in mind, you don't need to know how to play D&D to play this version of it. So feel free to get involved if that's what you'd like to do. Okay, closing the dice. Kaya showed up just in time. Kaya, give us that attack roll, please. Okay, so with that, Alden now threatening this creature, causing it to miss its attacks, decides to go for the finishing blow, scrapes both claws down the center of this creature's mass, and you just hear the ripping of the arms down past the chest and down into the abdomen as Alden almost splits the creature in two, pulling from both arms downwards, peeling it like a vegetable before it collapses onto the ground. So that creature is finished. Poor I know. Just absolutely fucked. Okay, so that brings us then to Veggie Pygmy number 2. Veggie Pygmy number 2 gasps at the sight that it has just seen. And as its ally falls to the ground lifeless, is going to move forward and attempt a claw attack against Alden. Does not hit. Alden nimbly jumps out of the way, ducking and weaving, clearly getting a much better sense of how to fight these creatures in particular. Which means that we are then at the Thorny. The Thorny is going to... Ooh, it's surrounded. It's just gonna randomly lash out at anyone here. We're gonna go with... I'm just putting up my screen. Okay, it's going to attack our turtle companion, Roga. Does not hit. So, clanging off Roga's shell as Roga has just turned to witness Alden's evisceration, it just smacks off dully off the armored shell and then backs off, desperately trying to fend for its life. Roga is going to attempt to attack the creature. Does not hit, unfortunately. Roga, unfortunately, to land any blow with the quarterstaff against this Thorny. Veggie Pygmy number 1 is dead. So you're not in initiative anymore. Goodbye. Trank is going to attack the Thorny. Also does not hit. So your allies, you're not sure if they're fatigued or off-put by the situation, not prepared for this fight to break out the way that it did. But right now, it's just you and Alden versus the world. Which brings us to your turn, coincidentally. So, chat, what would you like to do? At the top of the round, you have your option to attack once again if you would like. Both of your targets are pretty healthy. Okay, looks like you might be going for another torch attack. Oh, Liquid Lad with the attack bonus. Okay, so you feel this strange spirit energy imbuing you. Your eyes begin to crackle with ghostly energy, and your bowstring starts to glow very dimly in the darkness of the cavern, even illuminated by the torch as you are. Oh no, sorry, you're using the torch. So this strange spectral energy weaves up around the torch, and the torchlight itself starts to go more of a vibrant white and silver as opposed to simply emitting a warm yellow. So we're gonna open the dice roller. So ! dice to enter. As you feel the spirit energy emboldening your attack. I'll give you a couple of seconds here. Closing the giveaway. Ellie Cat, please give us our attack roll with the torch. Okay, so that is, let me just make sure I double check this. So it's a roll of 6 plus 2 plus 2, 4, 10, 12. Unfortunately, wait, hang on. 6. I gotta do some quick math. 6, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so unfortunately not quite enough to strike this creature. As you fall just short of the number required, as the torch does require strength. So, despite your torch blazing this ghostly light, it does not manage to impact. What would you like to do with your bonus action? Hang on, let me restart that. Alden gets the bonus as well, yeah. Okay. So, opening the dice roller again. Exclamation mark dice to enter to see if Alden, also this link between the two of you as your companions, some magical transference of energy taking place as the spectral light moves back down the torch handle, down your body to the ground, through your feet, passes along it, wisping along as it moves, and then surrounds Alden's claws. Closing the giveaway. Okay, Alex, please exclamation mark roll in the chat to see if Alden can land this attack. Okay, so with that, a clear hit. It's Vill's bonus action, but both Alden and Vill get the attack bonus from the channel point thingies. Yes, that. Absolutely. So, empowered by this, Alden slams down on the second Vegapygmy, almost instantly killing it, ripping and clawing away at its form. The creature is left with 1 hit point as it staggers backwards, bringing us to the creature itself. It is not a terribly intelligent creature, but it is fairly wise. But in this circumstance, it is panicked. So the creature desperately, and this is interesting to you, does not attempt to run backwards in this direction that it came from. Instead, tries to run past you. So both Alden and Roga will get opportunity attacks. So I'm going to need another attack roll from you, chat, from Alden's perspective, as the creature attempts to desperately retreat. Alden uses his opportunity to try and get a sneaky little grab. What if we lead them alive to see where they're going? You could try and interject, yeah. In fact, I'll put a poll up for you. If you would like to let the creature live, you can vote for it. Closing the giveaway. Max, give us the attack roll, please. What you got, Max? 9. Okay, so this would be a hit. Okay. We're just gonna go with the the voted for option here. So you give Alden the go-ahead, ordering Alden to try and stop this creature in its tracks as it attempts to retreat. Alden swipes across the creature's back, rips a leg from it, and it just falls over and goes limp. Delete. Okay, so we are at the Thorny's turn. The Thorny, a very feral creature. Again, it's just going to randomly attack someone. Okay, it's Alden. Okay, I believe that's a hit. So with a bite attack against Alden, dealing Can't we communicate with the creature? I mean, you could try. You could try. You have not heard it speak any kind of thing that resembles a language that you understand. That's not to say you can't come to some kind of understanding. So 8 points of damage to Alden. And that brings us to Roga's turn. Roga's going to try and attack. Doesn't hit. Trenk's going to try and attack. Does hit. So Trenk stabbing down with the spear. Deals 6 points of piercing damage. But again, you're noticing that these creatures seem to be particularly resistant to any kind of damage that pierces its flesh, as opposed to either bludgeoning it or slashing it. We are now back at your turn, chat. So what would you like to do? This creature at this point in time has only just started to sustain damage. But you are aware that if its turn comes back around and it has not been neutralized with fire, it will start regenerating that damage. Exactly, Max. Can we throw oil on the floor and ignite the oil? If you wanted to. I think you have some oil on you. But again, I suppose you're also creating an environmental hazard. I don't know if you want to do that. But you could try. If people want to do that, people can vote for it. It's entirely up to you. The oil would do more damage, but the torch would be safer. I suppose would be the best way to summarize it. Okay, so you're going to try and attack with your torch again. 3 times a charm. Yeah, opening the giveaway. So feel free to enter to see if you can smack this boy. You're not immune to fire, but you do have resistance. So you'll take damage, but just not quite as much as you would otherwise. So resistance means you essentially take half damage from a source. You don't take none. Just so you're aware. Not trying to be like nitpicky, just want to make sure everybody understands the game. Okay, so closing the giveaway. Kaya, hit us with that attack roll. Hopefully we can get some of that Kaya luck. Let's go. Yes, okay, so striking true with the torch this time. 3rd time is the charm. You slam down onto it. The fire begins to spread once more upon the creature's back, and the wounds begin to remain open this time around. So, taking that amount of damage. Okay. We are now on the bonus action of your turn. So, I can assume, what would you like Alden to do? Alden's down here. Do you even have to vote for this? I gotta have it on there for the proof. The second I start assuming what people do, that's when the whole thing falls apart. I won't wait for like shitloads of votes though. It's fine. Okay, so voting to attack. I need an attack roll, please. Exclamation mark dice to do the giveaway. How are we doing for time? Okay, cool. That's fine. Okay, closing the giveaway. Maximus, please give us the attack roll for Owl Den. We're 3 hours in. I think we're a little bit over that because I had to restart the stream at about... oh shit, I didn't see what that roll was. Sorry, Max, what was the roll? I was too busy reading something. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. 13? Okay. Yeah, so you easily hit this. So, where's your damage? 8 slashing. Okay, okay. So Alden tears away at this creature's viney flesh, leaving very little behind. But it is still fighting frantically, desperately, just swinging wild at the creatures surrounding it. It is the creature's turn. It does not regenerate health because it is now on fire. But it is going to attempt to attack you because you lit it on fire. That is a hit. So you take 8 points of piercing damage as the creature bites into your leg. Part of it scraping away at your knee, but the vast majority of it going into your calves. So they're gonna break the health again. Let's go, dude. Oh, it didn't break. Let's go. Let's go. You love to see it. That brings us to Roga, who's going to attempt to attack with the quarterstaff. Hits. The creature now quite literally on its last legs as one is broken and snapped. And then Trank also attacks and deals the finishing blow. And we exit initiative. All right. So, another encounter cleared as your enemies have fallen once again. And you regroup together. Now, you have Alden, who has sustained some injuries at 12 out of 20 hit points. You can choose to use healing magic. Either yourself or Trank can do this. Or you can choose to take an hour-long rest. You are aware that taking a rest, even in an area like this, poses risks. You don't know when the next patrol is likely to come along. So I'm going to ask you what you'd like to do. Aw, Kitty. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Max. She refuses to let you not have that badge. So I'm going to start the poll. You can choose to rest and not expend resources, except reminder that time is in of itself a resource. You may need your healing magic later in the day if that's what you would like to conserve. Can you use Cure Wounds out of battle? Absolutely, yes, you can. You can use it out of battle. It's a short rest, yeah. So with this, Alden can essentially roll hit dice to heal. which is not a resource that you can really spend in combat unless you're using the healing surge rules, which we are, but Alden can't use that ability again. So we currently have it tied. So just for extra clarity, if you rest, it will take you an hour for Alden to recover those wounds. If you use a spell, you will be able to continue adventuring immediately. So you can only use Healing Surge once every long rest. So once a day. You can only use Healing Surge once a day. But you can, so it's a weird one, but basically you can consume more than one charge of it, but you can only use the ability itself once. Oh yeah, Villandria is also taking damage, yeah. This is true. Sorry, I forgot about that. Why does it say 3 and 3 on Healing Surge? Because that's for our character. That's for Villandria. Alden has his own Healing Surge, but it's just not on the screen. Healing Surge is something you can only do for yourself. You can't use it on other people. Yeah. Sorry, I know that's not clear. I don't want to clog the page up with too many numbers. Okay, so it's still tied here. So I'm going to need a tiebreaker. We're going to do first to 5. So if anybody wants to break the tie either with a fresh vote or by changing theirs, we will go with whichever option gets 5 votes first. Okay, so you're taking a short rest for an hour in this space. Got it. Okay. So you move over a little bit more out of line of sight. You take rotations, each of you checking to see if there are any more patrols coming. I need a perception check from chat to see what you noticed during this time as you bandage your wounds and regain stamina. Oh yeah, torch is out. Torch is out. Torch always goes out when you're not fighting. Okay, closing the giveaway. Okay, realistic. Please give us our perception check. With this rest, you expend some resources, but you are back to full health. 17 plus lots? 7? Yeah, okay, so a total of 24. It's not a 20, but it's pretty close. Let me just reset that. We then have Alden, who's also back to full HP. During this time, during the period in which you are tasked with keeping a lookout, there is a moment at which you hear, again, some kind of communication taking place a little bit further into this area. You hazard a guess with your high perception check that it's coming from this pathway that leads further into the cave system. It seems to you like whatever creature is making this sound seems alarmed. You can't understand the language itself, but there's a franticness to the communication taking place. The speed of the beating on the chest or on the legs or on any kind of limb, and this clicking sound happening during it. It seems as though these creatures have possibly noticed your presence or the presence of something. They don't know exactly what, but they're not immediately sending reinforcements to try and challenge you. This was in the direction that the panicking Vegapygmy was attempting to run. No loot. These creatures have no valuable possessions whatsoever. They have no desire for them or need for them. So what would you like to do as your rest concludes? Maybe organs. Nothing particularly valuable. You could take some just for the sake of it, but there's nothing particularly valuable about Vegapygmy limbs. For simplicity's sake, I don't want to like lead you on and make you roll checks for something that's kind of insignificant. They're also like incredibly torn up and tattered, and there's probably not much left of them that could be used for any significant means. Take a bone? You could take like a big old twig from them, yeah. Oh, that's awesome, Max. Okay. Yeah, recap is what's happened so far, yeah. Story is like everything that's happened. Recap is just what's happened today. Since that, the only update is that you found another patrol. You tried to lure them out, but they didn't fall for the trap. They proceeded cautiously, and you found yourself in another 4 versus 3 skirmish. Okay. So you take a Vegapygmy leg, and you start wandering further down into the caverns. Oh, that's the wrong one. The space that these Vegapygmies were previously occupying revealed to you as another fairly simple open space that leads into a smaller tunnel that leads further in. As you take a look down at the ground, you now are starting to see once again, distinguished from the tracks left by the Vegapygmies, the tracks of this dog that had at some pace bounded down in this direction. Let me just double check this. Consequences, Elog? That doesn't sound like me. Okay, so I'm just gonna reveal the rest of this pathway. This winding corridor of dust, vine-like growths, fungus, and rock. Everything seems fairly straightforward until you get to the end of this tunnel section, and immediately you kind of freeze and stop because you can see silhouettes in the darkness in front of you as you lead your group forward. I'm going to need a stealth check from you, chat. Stealth checks, yep. Our favorite. I'm just going to roll Tranks now. That's not that bad. Rogue is doing pretty good. Alden's doing all right. Okay, closing the dice giveaway. Kitty, please hit us with the dice roll. So I was rolling for disadvantage for Trank and Roga because they do not have dark vision. So they do not know where they're going. Kitty. Okay, so that brings us to 18 though, because you have a massive stealth modifier. So proceeding, honestly, reasonably quietly. You've definitely been quieter in your adventure so far, but you still feel fairly confident that you're managing to traverse this space without drawing too much attention. You very quietly approach, and you see a cluster of Vegapygmy silhouettes, but there's something unusual about them. They are almost impossibly still. And as you approach, you realize they look like statues, but perfect statues. All the way down to the indentations around the eyes, on the arms, on the legs. They are, for all intents and purposes, perfect replicas of Vegapygmies, all clustered, almost completely blocking movement through this tunnel. There's also a Thorny as well, blocking the path. Possibly whatever did this, whatever created these statues, either by craft or by curse, may lie beyond. And the reason why these individuals were guarding this area and were reluctant to run back towards it. I'm going to open a poll. You don't have to immediately go into this room. You can scout it if you want. You can look into it as it opens up into a larger cavern beyond. Your vision is slightly... your vision is very obscured by these statues. But you can see still that it opens up into a larger space. So I'm going to open the poll. Spoilers! I know what you're talking about. I've never unintentionally revealed anything. Okay, so deciding to just take a quick look, not moving into the room itself, but getting close enough that you can actually take stock of what lies beyond. I'm going to need a perception check from you, chat. Just a sneaky peeky. I'm going to check something as well, because I don't actually know exactly how long we've been live. I did say I would cap the D&D streams of 4 hours, so... we restarted the stream. I'm just going to go to my channel real quick and check it. 30 more minutes? That makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. Yeah, we don't need to check it. Yeah, just do some quick maths. Okay, cool. Thank you. Closing the dice giveaway. All right, Kitty. Hit us with that roll, please. Yeah, it's been 3.5 hours. Why didn't I just do that? Dude, D&D takes so much brain power sometimes, especially doing it like this, that I'm like... forgetting to do basic shit. 18! Oh my god. So 25 total. All right, so that's good. That's good. That's very good. That's very, very good. Okay. So you squeeze your way past these Vegapygmy statues to take a look into the room. And there are a number of things that you see. First and foremost, the most immediate thing that you notice is that there are several other statues in this room of different creatures. But most importantly, you see one statue in particular. You see a statue of a dog in the midst of various other creatures that have also been petrified in this space. I need you to give me a nature check. Is this a flying carpet? No, it's it's something else. Okay, so serious time. Gonna close the giveaway. Eloc, please give us our roll, please. Okay. So for this, I'm going to use a wisdom nature check, as it's more to do with your experience traveling the world than book knowledge. So there are a couple of creatures in this room that you recognize. Given the size of this dog, they seem to be of a greyhound breed. Definitely a dog that would be used for hunting in this kind of area. There are spiders, there are some goblins off to the left, a small pack of goblins, very large maggots and creepy crawlies. A creature called a cloaker in the center that has been petrified in this threatening position, and a bat towards the back. A collection almost of creatures that you're not entirely sure if they're here by chance or have been organized in some kind of deliberate fashion. But all of them have very clearly been petrified. There are a couple of creatures that come to mind that could do such a thing. Some of them definitely a lot more intimidating to think about than others. But you are wary in this circumstance that whatever has done this may still be within that space. You just cannot see it just yet. So there could be creatures named beholders, these deadly... I'm not even going to go into beholders at this point because that would be a whole other kettle of fish. But these deadly creatures that lurk in faraway corners of the world, capable of many aberrant and mysterious things. There are the Medusas, cursed beings that turn other creatures to stone with their gaze. And there are also basilisks, 3 among many creatures that might have caused this. How far is the dog from us? If you were to get to the edge, it would be about 15 feet. I don't know how many meters that is for people who use a sensible system, but... Okay, I want one more roll from you, chap. This is going to be an Arcana check. And you do have your headband of intellect now. So this will be significantly easier. This would be a total of +7 with your newly acquired magical items. This is to figure out what you know about petrification. Are the statues all looking in the same direction? No. I mean, the Vegapygmy ones are all looking inside the room, but the rest of them are looking in a variety of different directions. Okay, closing the giveaway. Shadow Squared. Please give us our Arcana check. It will have a +7 total to the roll. Okay, so 13 total. Not the best roll, but still pretty good. So you are aware, you're not exactly sure about the specifics, but you are aware that petrification is reversible. Either by powerful magic, restorative magic, or by acquiring reagents from the creature that is responsible for the petrification. So, if you were to retrieve Hugo's petrified statue, there is a chance that you would be able to revitalize him. But you do not currently know at the specific point in time how you would do it. Obviously, it is very dangerous. You could try and figure out a way to retrieve the statue without entering the room itself. Or you could risk it for the biscuit. Or you could try and find the creature inside, slay it, and retrieve something from its remains that may help. There's a lot of different options. I'm going to turn the poll on. So what would you like to do? There is a moment of somberness as you realize that, given how recent the tracks were, it may have been as... how should I put this? Given how recent the tracks were, your decision, as sensible as it was to rest the previous day before dipping into the burrows, may have been the difference maker between finding Hugo petrified or not. It is not a situation that is not reversible, but not without risk. So killing the creature that cursed this will unstone the creatures. Not necessarily, but there may be, like, a bladder, some kind of organ within the creature that may be an important material that can be used to reverse it. So I'll let this sit with you for just a couple of minutes here while people decide and discuss. So to put it in the simplest terms possible, retrieving this statue now is definitely a risk. There is the hope that you will be able to reverse this process, but you will need to make that decision yourselves. Right now we have leave on 3 and then lasso the puppy. That can also work. Why do we even need to get this dog for Hunter anyway? Just because you said that you would. You don't have to do it. The thing about D&D is you don't have to do anything. It's entirely up to what you think your character would do. We could throw a stone inside, see if anything moves, and if nothing moves, we try lasso. Yeah, you could try that. You could, what would be the right word for that? I guess just like throw rock. Throw rock or something. Yeah, throw stone. What I think we'll do is we'll leave this to first to 5 votes. I feel like at this point, because it's an important decision, it could be very dangerous. I'll see if we can get to 5. Currently, we have throw stone technically on 4. Yeah, so you are aware that this barricade of statues here, which has been formed, unfortunately, by these people probably chasing the dog, does mean that if you manage to get past them, you're probably not going to be attacked. Because you can just run away. So you have that safety net there. Can we get to 5? At this point, I think we're probably not going to get more votes on anything. So we'll say that you throw a stone to test to see if there's any movement within the space. So you grab a fairly large pebble from the ground. Looking into the space, Emplo, you don't see anything, whether it's on the ground or on the floor, that resembles whatever this creature might be. If you were to enter into the room, there is more of the cavern off to your left. But you haven't done that yet, so. Let's make another perception check as you throw the stone into the room and see if you hear any shifting. Okay. Closing the giveaway. Oh, thank you very much, Emplo. I really appreciate that. I'm really glad that people are enjoying the streams. Check bonus. Check bonus, anyone? Yerk with the clutch. Check bonus. Let's go. Okay. So, closing the giveaway. Yerk. Well, that's poetic. Yerk, hit us with that roll. +7 to the roll. +9 to the roll from your bonus. Here we go. Okay, good thing you had that bonus. So with a total of 17, you feel your eyesight fading momentarily, and you watch as this spectral, ghostly mist seems to kind of flow through from the gaps in your mouth where you breathe, and then through possibly other areas around you, before drifting out into the space, kind of almost moving and slithering over the various surfaces in the space around you, as this strange spirit and energy is instilled in you once more. This power that you're only just starting to really experience properly manifested, and it's both unsettling but also unquestionably useful. You look out into the room as you toss this pebble, rolling it across the ground. You hear a shifting sound from somewhere off to the left in the darkness, though you cannot currently see in that direction without physically turning the corner and looking. About 15 to 20 feet away in this direction and slightly up. Just a slight stirring. It reminds you immediately of a creature perhaps momentarily rousing from its slumber, and then you hear kind of this creaking sound and this exhale of some kind of breath, but there's no significant movement past that. So something definitely heard the sound, but it didn't see anything after looking out into the space, and therefore went back to sleep. Okay, so knowing this, what do you do? Do you want to lasso, or do you want to leave? You just did a perception check, Cass. I mean, are you saying you want to look around the corner to see what the creature is? Is that what you're asking? No, we don't want to do that? Okay. It is worth mentioning you are extraordinarily stealthy. I'm not trying to be too chaotic, but honestly, I'm gonna make it very simple for you all. There is obviously a risk here, and it's good that you are all recognizing that, and I'm really happy to see people thinking a lot about the implications of this decision. But it needs to be acknowledged that this might be something that could possibly end badly. It hangs on a dice roll. You can come back later as well. That's also fine, yeah. You personally could very easily, like looking at it, you could very easily walk into this room, grab the statue, and then move back into the space without too much trouble. You just don't know how quietly you would do it, because you're actually the strongest member of this party. You are physically the strongest person, and also the most wise and the most dexterous and the most intelligent now. Holy shit. You're actually supreme leader, Valandria. Can't we just get Trank to do it instead? Yeah, just send Trank out there. It's gonna be fine. You could wait. Yeah, you could wait and then try. Do you want me to reset the poll? Or people want to change their votes? You could change to wait if you wanted to. I hate my laptop. Oh, heck. Yeah, dude, getting... Fuck. Especially when a stream is like tense and you keep getting that circle thing and you're just like, for fuck's sake. Oh, so kite. There's so much happening. Okay. I'm going to give it just one more minute here because I know a lot of people are changing their votes. But right now, it seems like you're going to leave. You can change your answer later if you want to. Okay, tied. All right, so first to 5. Dog was like a side quest. It was, yeah, technically. You don't have any obligation other than, you know, any kind of responsibility you might feel. Okay, so first to 5. So you wait for about 15 minutes. Listening out, you can very clearly hear now that this creature, whatever it is very clearly slumbering. It seems to be asleep, but you're too afraid to turn the corner in case it happens to be, I don't know, looking at you or prepared to try and fossilize you as well. So the question now is whether or not you would like to... This is going to be the last vote, by the way. I'm not going to drag this out much longer. I know it's like one of those things where there's a lot of back and forth. So I'm going to ask you if you're going to either sneak or if you're going to leave. Okay, so feel free to enter your last decision if you still want to leave. Just enter that in again for us. So if you want to sneak or leave. Sneaking is opting to try and retrieve the statue without alerting the creature that lies inside. I'm going to see if anybody else votes. Okay, Falcon's going for sneak. I don't know if this can possibly swing the other way, but I'll give it time to, just in case. For ultimate fairness. But it seems like sneak is going to be the option here. Okay. Could we use a cloth piece to cover our eyes? Yeah, you could just avert your gaze from the creature. And do your best to not look at it, just in case. So I need a stealth check from you, chat. This does have your +9 modifier. If anybody wants to do another check bonus, this is possibly the most important time to do on this session. If anybody wants to slap on a channel point redemption. Why does the stream keep buffering? It's on cooldown? No way. Wait. Let me fix it. I'll bring it off cooldown. You can have assistance? Yeah, so what I'll say is that Roga and Trenk are on the other side of the statues, ready to kind of grab it and lift it over as you hand it over to them, if you manage to get that far. I'm just going to bring this off cooldown real quick. Check bonus, edit. 1 minute. Okay. So, the check bonus should be up now. There we go. Okay, Yerk. Realistic. Please give me the dice roll. This will have a massive plus 11 to the modifier. Okay, so a 21 total. All right. Let me check some stats real quick. All right. Okay. So, you slowly make your way out of the room, fighting the overwhelming urge to turn around and look at what might be lurking in the corner. You continue step by step, making every opportunity to duck and weave behind statues, stalagmites, and boulders as they lie in the room. Actually, you'd be on this side. You brace yourself, squatting down next to the dog statue, grabbing it along the chest and under the legs, and it's definitely slightly attached to the ground. But using a dagger at your side, you very quietly chisel away and release Hugo from the ground itself without doing any damage to the statue. Tensed as you are, your entire body requiring effort to lift this large dog statue and also move quietly at the same time, you kind of crab walk your way back across the room and back to safety. It doesn't seem as though the creature noticed you entering the room or exiting it as you hand over the statue to Trank and Rogue on the other side, who very, very carefully lower the statue to the ground on the other side. You have successfully retrieved Hugo the dog. Why do I hear boss music? That's so weird. Don't know why. Good job. All right. Well done. Okay. With that, I need to ask you, are you going to leave the cavern, leave the tunnels, or are you going to continue on and see if you can do something about this Vegapygmy threat? I'll say we move out of here at the very least to a safer spot. Vote Vegemite. I mean, I love it, but I hate it, as I do most things. Nori says we're actually wrapping it up soon, so it's totally fine. Can we just burn the fungi and hope it burns the entire colony? I mean, you could set up some kind of relay of oil and other flammables to try and set the vegetation on fire. You could do that. That's exactly how you spell Vegemite, Cass. Are you asking how to spell Vegapygmy, or? Do you have any explosives? You don't have any explosives, no, unfortunately. The only thing you have close to it is flasks of oil. Vegapygmy? Yeah, that's the one! So at this point, again, you can simplify it to like whether or not you are going to leave or whether or not you're going to continue. Continuing could mean that you set up some kind of array of traps and fire and things like that. But I'm basically just trying to figure out if you want to continue to try and solve this problem, or if you're going to leave and you know, cut your losses here and possibly leave this issue to somebody else. You're like 80% sure that there's definitely more Vegapygmies down here. Yeah. Oh, no worries. Hey, Realistic, thanks for stopping by and participating. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And hopefully see you again someday. That'd be cool. Don't be afraid to drop that follow if you haven't already, so you know when we go live in the future. It seems like Vegemite, I'm assuming, is staying here to deal with the Vegapygmies. So, what I'll say we'll do is we will call the session here, as we won't be able to resolve the Vegapygmy situation in what time we have left of the session. But next session, we will pick up with you trying to figure out how you are going to handle the rest of this Vegapygmy infestation. As you have already completed your mission that you were tasked with. Both of them, in fact. But you still have this other problem to deal with. The Vegapygmy! You guys did great. I loved how tormented you all were over whether or not you're actually going to try and save the dog. Like, I didn't do that to just fucking debate you. It's genuinely like, I'm like, okay, well, there has to be a consequence to spending time, you know, being safer, yes. But also there's a risk that comes with that, and that you may not complete your mission in the way that you want. So you haven't failed, but it's just gone a little bit more complicated.